Hello and welcome to Last Word FC, where I run through all the latest and biggest news in the world of football. And today, Jordan Henderson is an idiot, and that is deeply, deeply funny to me. He reportedly wants to return back to Europe to play football at the top level. I feel like he wants a place in the Euro squad, and knows for a fact that whilst he's over in Saudi Arabia, he is not going to play at a high enough level to get that. However, he seems to have tied himself up into a few little problems. So, tax rules are fairly complicated, and I will keep this as brief as I can. But basically, he wants to avoid paying tax in the UK, which you can do if you are working abroad. However, you need to be living and working abroad for at least an entire tax year, ideally two in a row. So, this current tax year, he was in the UK for the start of it. So, that's 23, 24, gone, kaput. So he needs to work an entire tax year elsewhere outside the UK. That would have to be the 2024-25 space, which means that he could only return to the UK in the summer of 2025. Now, if he didn't do that, he would come back, pay his Saudi taxes, which are not very much, but if you leave before the end of your contract, you get 20% tax on whatever you earn over there, in addition to English taxes, which at the amount he's getting paid would be something like 47%. So he would lose 67% of what he's been paid in Saudi Arabia because he made a horrifically bad decision and completely forgot there would probably be consequences. As a footballer, he just thought he'd be able to be completely fine, be able to move to Saudi Arabia and do whatever he wanted after that. He moved out of greed, ignored all of the consequences, and in my opinion, that is genuinely deeply funny and the funniest story that you're going to get today. He's an idiot, and it's hilarious. In the rest of football, Leeds United. This isn't transfer news, but this is just some genuinely interesting news. Another quite funny one. Leeds United have broken expectations with a home tie in the FA Cup. Now, you might think, home tie, you got a 50-50 chance of that. Before this, Leeds United had 13 away ties in a row. They were last drawn in a home fixture in 2016. Played a match at home last season, but that was a replay against Cardiff. And you'd think it could at least be someone interesting. It might be a lower league side like Maidstone, or they might end up with Man City or something weird like that. It's Plymouth. It's just Plymouth. And it's being one of the most boring matches it could possibly be. Fully expect a loss. Away from Leeds United, perhaps the complete opposite end of the spectrum, Manchester United. This is another one that I just thought was quite funny. They beat Wigan in the FA Cup last night, and they're against, I think, Eastleigh or something in the next round. Eastleigh or Newport, depending on who wins that replay. So you'd think, brilliant, they're going to absolutely walk that to the fifth round. A headline in Sky Sports said they keep the dream of silverware alive with an FA Cup win over Wigan. Of course they win. It's Wigan. They're a League One team and not a particularly good League One team. You can't say they keep the dream of silverware alive when they've done exactly what you expect them to do. It's like if they came in the first round of the FA Cup and got fucking Dulwich Hamlet or something, and it's like, I don't know how, but they've kept their hopes going for the FA Cup this year. No, it's standard, it's normal. And the fact that they need to put out a headline like this tells me that that club is deeply struggling at the moment. And that's so funny to me. The fact that they are rife with allegations of things, and Eric Ten Hag is just letting anything go. It's chaos over there. And the club is somehow struggling time and time and time again and are acting like they're victims of something. It's so funny to me. Anyway, outside the funnier side of football, we have a world of transfers to discuss. And the first one is perhaps not the biggest of the stories, but it's something I find quite interesting. Valentin Barco is going to Brighton. Argentinian left back who is very young, very, very talented, and another FM legend has died today. He is the definition of wonder kid, and all we've seen so far this January with Echeverry going to, I think, Manchester City, now Valentin Barco to Brighton. I can't remember who else made a move, but someone went to Benfica. But another FM legend has died today. Time and time again, there's players I get connected to in Football Manager, and they go to a big club, and their value shoots up, and you can't get them in FM anymore. And it's heartbreaking. It's devastating. No, but seriously though, he's a good player. Brighton are getting a very talented footballer. Well done again. I feel like they're just using the Football Manager database at this point. Next story, Ian Maatsen has sorted out a loan move to Dortmund. However, he's also getting a 2-year extension on his contract at Chelsea. This tells me that Chelsea know that they've got a talent here, but he's just struggling to get in the side at the moment. For some reason, Levi Colwill is playing at left back ahead of him, despite Colwill being a centre back. You're not going to develop your players if you don't play them, Chelsea. You should have learned this lesson time and time and time and time again. Maatsen's going out on loan to Dortmund, which makes sense, but I feel like Dortmund might want a permanent move at the end of that. Chelsea's 2-year extension will either protect his value by forcing prices up or just be a no, you're not going to sign him. He's a player I sort of wanted at Leeds United because we need a left back and he's very talented, but it probably wasn't going to happen either way. Moving on to the next story, we're going a little bit international with this one. Alphonso Davies is potentially heading to Real in the fairly near future. I'm going to pull up this story just so I get all of the details right because it's quite an interesting one. Real Madrid have asked Alphonso Davies to not renew his contract at Bayern Munich. This is sort of interesting because Bayern have been trying to negotiate with Davies for a while. Davies wants a lot of money. I think it's between, I'll get the numbers right here, 8.6 million and 11.2 million pounds every single year. That'd be 165 to 215k a week. It's a lot of money, to be fair, but it is also Bayern, and he's one of the best left backs in the world. And with Real entering the conversation, you can easily say, well, it's worth it because Madrid will pay me that money. Davies says that he's fairly comfortable in Munich, but if he can earn more money and also play for Real Madrid, that's definitely worth looking at. But with the mention of potentially not extending his contract, this tells me that either they will make a move this summer or when his contract extends in 2025. Expires in 2025. That might be a little bit long for Davies to wait, so he would want some reassurance that Real want to make a move this summer. If they don't, I can see him probably renewing. Also to do with Real Madrid, you've got Kylian Mbappe, and honestly, with Mbappe, who knows? Currently at PSG, earning more money than any footballer ever needs to earn, ever. He's got the Qatari state in the palm of his hand because he's one of the better players in the world right now, and they know it. And it's weird because Real approached him with 6 months left on his contract, as they are allowed to do. And apparently Mbappe's response was, it's a little bit rude. That's very forward, and he didn't want to go for it. And he also said that he might want a Premier League move, but I can't see anyone in the Premier League being able to afford that within FFP. So I think Mbappe will be a good one to watch for the next 6 months. We've got no idea what's going to happen. My personal theory is that he will just use this as a bargaining chip to renew with PSG because he knows he can earn more money when he's there. And he can become basically a club hero, even if he doesn't win the Champions League. I feel like a move is going to be better for his career, but for the financial side, I understand why he's staying there. Anyway, that was Last Word FC for the 9th of January 2024. Hope you enjoyed. I'm going to try and get back to more regular uploads on this channel, and I will see you later.